We, up until now in stage 1, 2 and 3, have been learning all of these rhythms here, okay, using rhythm names, okay? Can we remember what's the rhythm name for this one? Yeah, Lindsay. Brilliant, can we clap that? 4, or. And then what's the rhythm name for this one? Can anybody remember? Yeah.
2.
Brilliant, so it goes 2, 2. And this one, can anybody remember this one? Yeah, Charlotte.
Ta, ta, ta.
Brilliant. Ta, 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 ta. And George, what's one of these ones? T. So we're going to go T. That's it. Now rhythm names are really, really helpful because they sound like the sound of the note, okay? But in the big grown-up world, when we play our instruments, sometimes we talk about these notes in a different way using different names. So I have lots of different names. At home, I'm Mum or Mummy. At work here, or with my friends, I'm called Becca. And when I'm at work at school, I'm called Mrs. Francis. So I have 3 different names depending on where I am and who I'm with. This is sort of the same. When we want to work out what a rhythm sounds like, we use the rhythm names, okay? If we're in America, then we have these brilliant names called whole note, half note. What do you think the next one might be? Quarter note. And what do you think the next one might be? Eighth note. Fantastic. So I'm going to give you these in a second and you can line them up with where you think they should go. And then we're going to turn them over and we're going to learn the British names, which don't make quite so much sense. Okay? So have a go at lining them up. The American names first. Yeah, so let's put them to the side so you can still see what the rhythm notes look like. Yeah, that's it. I know, I should have mixed them up for you, shouldn't I? I should have mixed them up for you. Okay, lovely. And do you see with these whole and half and quarter and eighth, the bottom number is the same as the number of blobs. So how many blobs have we got in this first row? How many note heads have we got? 1. And a whole note is 1 out of 1. How many have we got for our 2 woos?
2.
Yeah, we've got 2 note heads, so that it's like the whole note is chopped in half, yeah? So it tells us there's 2 that fit into the 1. Okay, so what about the quarter notes, the tars? And we've got 4 tars, haven't we? Okay, so that tells us that we can fit 4 tars into our whole note. And how many eighth notes have we got? 8, yeah. So we can fit 8 little into the same time as a whole note, okay. So this, do we agree this is quite a logical way of describing the notes?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's much more mathematical, isn't it? Yeah? Let's clap them and see if it feels nice to clap and say at the same time. It might not do, but let's have a go. Off we go. Whole, half, half, quarter, 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 quarter. I think there's a problem in this row. Quarter. How many syllables has it got? 2. But how many sounds has a quarter note got? 1. So it feels a bit funny. Quarter. So that's why we need the rhythm names, because it helps us when we're clapping. Ta, ta, ta is much easier to say and clap at the same time. Let's turn them over and see what happens. So a whole note, let's start at the top. Whole note turns into, Jemima, you turn that one over, Lindsay, you turn that one. Semi-breathe. What's that mean? Yeah, well, I could give you a history lesson. In the olden days, there was a note that was even longer than that, and it was double the length, and it was 8 beats, and so it's half. Semi-breathe was what the name of that note. You don't want that history lesson today. We're just going to remember that one's called a semi-breathe. Not quite as logical. Turn them over. Next one. George, yeah, you do that one. That's it, fantastic. Minim. Minim. No, not really. Okay, next one. Crotchet. Yeah. Crotchet is a French word for jump. Jump. And actually, when we do tars, we jump, don't we? Crotchet, 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 crotchet. So, I do quite like these ones.
Quaver.
Quaver. Is anybody hungry? Yeah. Nom, 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 nom.
That still doesn't make
It
any
still
sense.
doesn't make any sense. So,
Why can't you just say, please can I have some quaver?
please can I have some quavers,
They
please?
might get confused.
You might get confused.
You might mean teachers.
You might need some teachers.
But they might give you the actual
So they might give you a bag of
and
crisps
you're
instead.
allergic to the bag.
Yeah, well, and it would be awful, wouldn't it? So these names, I'm afraid there's no getting away from it. They have some logic in them in history, but we've sort of lost that logic, and so it's quite hard to remember them. So if you struggle remembering them, don't worry. But it is important that you learn them because you need to be able to talk to other musicians, and they might not know what you mean when you say a tar.
What?
But if you say a crotchet, they might know what you mean. So that's why you have to, it's like being bilingual, you have to be able to talk, or trilingual, you have to be able to talk in different languages. Exactly.
Or in
So
French.
let's have a go at clapping our very confusing, silly names, but the more we clap them, the more we say them, the more we'll get better at them. Okay, ready? Off we go. Semi-breathe, min, nim, min,